Get ready for the action, because NFL writer Kevin Patra is laying it out loud about the Pittsburgh Steelers' chances in the AFC North. He dives deep into why putting Band-Aids on the quarterback room year after year simply isn't sustainable for the team's long-term success. We break down exactly what Patra thinks about the future of the Steelers and the tough competition they face in the conference. And AFC West. We look at the defensive upgrades the Panthers made and how they are preparing for this tough road trip. Finally, we get the full picture with the official 2026 Steelers schedule release. We detail every primetime game, including the international game against the New Orleans Saints in Paris, and highlight key matchups like the Steelers facing the New England Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens. Don't miss out. Stay tuned for all the details on the 2026 season. NFL writer Kevin Patra has delivered a stark assessment of the Pittsburgh Steelers' prospects in the AFC North, concluding that the team is unlikely to repeat its division title success. Patra ranked the Steelers as the most vulnerable division winner for the 2026 season, citing fundamental issues, particularly concerning the quarterback position. Patra pointed out that the Steelers' reliance on continually patching together the quarterback room with short-term fixes is not a sustainable strategy for long-term stability. For the Steelers to ascend to a legitimate contender status in the AFC, Patra argues, they must prioritize drafting and developing a franchise quarterback. He noted that the top AFC teams, including the Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, Denver Broncos, and New England Patriots, have consistently succeeded by drafting and developing first-round quarterbacks. The analysis of the 2025 season highlighted several critical factors weighing against Pittsburgh. The team's recent AFC North title was narrowly secured by a missed field goal by the Ravens in Week 18, and the subsequent leadership change to 62-year-old Mike McCarthy places Pittsburgh squarely in the middle of the Aaron Rodgers uncertainty. Even with a future Hall of Famer, Rodgers is 42, and his recent performance was not indicative of a top-tier quarterback. While the offense saw some additions with Michael Pittman Jr. and Jeremy Bernard, significant questions remain about the offensive identity with an aging quarterback, especially if Rodgers opts not to play. Patra contrasted this with the improvements seen by the Baltimore Ravens and Cincinnati Bengals, both of whom bolstered their rosters this offseason. The Ravens, typically a juggernaut, showed resilience by moving from a 1-5 start to 8-8, suggesting they are poised to start strong if injury concerns are managed. Conversely, Patra highlighted the defensive improvements in Cincinnati, citing key additions like Dexter Lawrence, Boy Mafe, and Brian Cook, which significantly boost a unit that previously needed average performance. The Bengals' offense, featuring Joe Burrow and the elite wide receiver duo of Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins, is considered among the league's best. Ultimately, Patra believes Pittsburgh faces a lost cause due to the quarterback situation. He emphasized that the Ravens and Bengals possess inherent quarterback advantages that cannot be overcome by simply signing free agents or making trades for weapons. The core takeaway is clear. Without a serious commitment to securing a franchise quarterback, Pittsburgh's chances of winning the AFC North in 2026 are assessed as close to zero. The Pittsburgh Steelers' path to the 2026 NFL playoffs may hinge on a game they will not even be playing in. With a challenging schedule ahead, the Steelers face tough competition, including the Broncos, Patriots, and Eagles, based on the 2025 season standings, and a highly anticipated revenge game against the Houston Texans. However, the most pivotal matchup could be a clash between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens on New Year's Eve, December 31st, in Week 17. This Thursday, NFL insider Jordan Schultz confirmed the contest, which is slated for Thursday Night Football. The game carries immense weight as it could be the decisive battle for the AFC North title. Last season, the Steelers narrowly missed out on a do-or-die showdown against the Ravens in Week 18, a game where the Ravens had struggled early due to injuries to quarterback Lamar Jackson. Meanwhile, Cincinnati's success in 2025 was bolstered by three-time Pro Bowl quarterback Joe Burrow, who played 8 games despite a severe injury. With both superstars healthy and vying for the AFC North crown, the stakes are incredibly high. Odds suggest that both the Ravens and Bengals have a superior chance of securing a playoff spot in the AFC North compared to the Steelers, with 3 wild-card spots in each conference making a 3-team playoff run highly improbable. Even if Pittsburgh achieves an impressive 10-win season, their postseason hopes could ultimately depend on the outcome of this Bengals-Ravens contest. The question remains, will Pittsburgh rally behind Baltimore to hinder Cincinnati's playoff aspirations, or will they need Joe Burrow and the Bengals to triumph over the Ravens? With this high-stakes game scheduled for New Year's Eve, it is plausible that the outcome of this AFC North showdown will ultimately determine the Steelers' fate in the 2026 postseason. The Carolina Panthers face a challenging road ahead as the NFL prepares to release the 2026 schedules for all 32 teams this Thursday at 8 p.m. ET. Analysis of the current information suggests a demanding slate for the Panthers as they aim to return to the playoffs. The Panthers' 2025 regular season concluded with an 8-9 record, marking their first NFC South Division title since 2015 and their first playoff appearance since 2017. Looking ahead, Carolina's schedule features matchups against every team in the NFC North and AFC North. They will also face the first-place teams from the NFC West, the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, the AFC West, the Denver Broncos, and the AFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Furthermore, the Panthers are scheduled to play their NFC South Division rivals twice, once away and once at Bank of America Stadium, accounting for 17 games in total. Offensively, the team has seen key additions, including Offensive Rookie of the Year Teteroa McMillan in 2025 and Jalen Coker emerging as the number 2 receiver. Defensively, Carolina bolstered its unit by acquiring highly sought-after free agents Yalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd at edge rusher and linebacker, respectively. The defensive front also saw reinforcement with the addition of defensive tackle Lee Hunter, following the selection of offensive tackle Monroe Freeling in the first round of the draft. Despite these off-season improvements, the Panthers are set to navigate one of the league's most difficult schedules. Fans and analysts will be keenly watching the finalized schedule to assess the team's prospects for a successful 2026 campaign. The Pittsburgh Steelers have officially released their 2026 season schedule, featuring an extensive lineup that includes multiple primetime games, international competition, and matchups against several teams from the 2025 postseason. Under coach Mike McCarthy, the Steelers are slated to appear in 4 primetime games during his first season, including 1 at Acrisure Stadium and 3 on the road. The schedule also highlights a unique international appearance. The Steelers will play in the first-ever regular season NFL Paris game against the New Orleans Saints in France, a historic event that Steelers president Art Rooney II described as a chance to showcase the NFL's global growth. The 17-game schedule includes 6 matchups against teams that featured in the 2025 postseason, such as the Carolina Panthers, Denver Broncos, Houston Texans, Jacksonville Jaguars, New England Patriots, and Philadelphia Eagles. Key matchups include the season opener at home against the Atlanta Falcons, featuring new head coach Kevin Stefanski. The Steelers will also travel to face the AFC champion New England Patriots, host the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 3, and play a Thursday night football game against the Cleveland Browns in Week 4, marking the first of 4 primetime games. The schedule is packed with high-profile contests. Notable games include a clash with the Indianapolis Colts at home in Week 5, a road trip to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 6, and a Black Friday matchup against the Denver Broncos in Week 12. International exposure continues with the Steelers scheduled for the 2026 NFL Paris game against the New Orleans Saints in Week 7, which will be broadcast on NFL Network with a simulcast in Pittsburgh. The schedule also features significant rivalry games, including a matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 11, a home game against the Houston Texans in Week 13, and a Monday Night Football appearance against the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 14. AFC North action remains a focal point, with home games against the Cincinnati Bengals and a home game against the Cleveland Browns in Week 8. The season culminates with a potential final matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. Regarding scheduling flexibility, the 2026 season will utilize flexible scheduling, allowing for Sunday night football, Monday night football, and Thursday night football within specific windows, subject to change. Fans are advised that NFL games within these windows are subject to revision, and ticket holders should plan accordingly. In preseason, the Steelers will begin with a matchup against the Green Bay Packers at Acrisure Stadium. Fans can tune into the Steelers radio network for all game coverage throughout the preseason and regular season.